Hey guys, I've been asked directly and indirectly how I celebrate the new moon, Rosh Chodesh. That's the Hebrew translation. So I'm going to share a little bit of what I've been learning to do. It's been an evolving thing because I did not grow up with this. I did not grow up with the feast, the traditions, any of that. When I was 11, I did become suspicious of my ancestry, and about my 20s is when I started to learn more and more about my background and more about the Jewish and Hebrew culture. So I guess about that time, my mid-20s, I started to ask around, like, what is this new moon celebration? It's in the Bible. It's in the New Testament and Old Testament. And I'm asking, what is this? Why aren't we doing this? What does it look like? And no one really had answers for me, but at that time I was going to Baptist church. So no one really knew, and I would get answers like, we don't do that anymore, we don't have to do that anymore, that's the Old Testament, those kind of answers. But it's in the New Testament, and it kind of looks like fun. I mean, the New Moon Festival, it's like, I have an invitation to a party, and I want to go. So I tried to look into it for myself, and I did learn that the new moon is actually in Genesis 1:14 talks about the moon, the sun, moon, and stars being a sign for seasons. And it's not just agricultural seasons, but the signs of the time seasons. So the new moon is a sign of the new month. That's when God's calendar, the new month, begins. Also, according to tradition, it's primarily a woman's holiday, the Rosh Chodesh, and women are honored and remembered for them not sacrificing during the time of the golden calf in the wilderness. So even though Moses did not come down, they still had faith. They had faith in the unseen. And just like the sliver of the moon, the new moon is just that sliver. We have faith in the unseen. Men do too. But this is just a tradition that is told and followed by a lot of households and families. But I enjoy that, having faith in the unseen. The new moon celebration, not just we, but other families, cultures, and so forth, we dedicate that time to God. It's the first. You give him your first. And so the whole month, you're just giving it back to him, especially the things that are unseen. You don't know what's coming this coming month. And so it's dedicated. As the month progresses, you have to remember you already gave it over to God. It's already his. He has it taken care of. So it is a woman's holiday, and women are honored by not having to work. What I used to do when we were in our own apartment, I used to make sure that everything that I usually take care of, and I would just make sure the house was prepared so that we wouldn't have to worry about dishes or laundry and things like that. So the day before, I would take care of as much as possible, and so the Rosh Chodesh, there weren't dishes and laundry and anything that had to be managed like that. In my house, for me, what I do is I work on projects for me. I have things just lined up on my desk of things that I want to do for other people, and I do include some of that for me. Like, I like giving gifts occasionally. I'm a terrible gift giver, but there are things that I want to do for people, and so it does make me happy. So there's those certain projects that I do work on. Also, I do go out and I meet with my friends, and I usually give them a gift. Sometimes it's just a hand-me-down. Hey, I've had this. I don't know if you want it. So I do take that time out to go meet up with my friends and then give gifts. And I do bake a cake. The new moon is also our wedding anniversary here, so I do try and replicate our wedding cake. This time I might do something a little different, but we have cake and don't work. This is just me. My husband, he works. I think my daughter works. She goes to school, and I make her do all that because she's not really into observing a lot of our stuff yet. How I started with having, I don't know if I mentioned this, I had to do a few takes, dinner with the friends and family. So I would have people over for the new moon. We'd have dinner, and I get to share like what it is that I've been learning and why I'm doing this. and kind of get my friends and family more familiar with the celebrations, and of course what I've been learning in general. Trying to look at my notes here. I guess it's a little bit of that. There is Bible time, prayer time, there's study time. I do take the time to kind of learn more about Rosh Chodesh, different perspectives. Not all of it I agree with, but just different people's perspectives help, I think, sharpen why I believe what I believe. So I guess that's it. No work. I get to hang out with my friends, dress up a little bit nicer, do something nice for myself, bake a cake, hang out with the family, and hang out with God. So, oh, perfect timing. You hear that? I have, there's actually a verse in Colossians that, in case any of you are getting discouraged about celebrating, it says, Colossians chapter 2. So don't let anyone pass judgment on you in connection with eating and drinking, or in regard to a Jewish festival, or Rosh Chodesh, or Shabbat. These are a shadow of things that are coming, but the body is of the Messiah. So don't let people's judgments and discouragements discourage you from what you feel like you are supposed to be doing. It's the new moon celebration, like celebrate. And it's a shadow of things to come. So this is kind of like a practice. You're becoming familiar with the way God is going to establish his kingdom. Since we're in the Bible, let me go ahead and go to another new moon. Isaiah 66, 18 through 23. For I know their deeds and their thoughts. The time is coming when I will gather together all nations and languages. They will come and see my glory, and I will give them a sign. I will send some of their survivors to the nations of Tarshish, Pul, Lud, Tuval, Greece, and more distant coasts, where they have neither heard of my name nor seen my glory. They will proclaim my glory in these nations, and they will bring all your kinsmen out of the nations as an offering to Adonai, on horses, on chariots, on wagons, on mules, on camels, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, says Adonai. Just as the people of Israel themselves bring their offerings in clean vessels to the house of Adonai, I will also take Kohanim and Leviim from them, says Adonai. For just as the new heavens and new earth that I am making will continue in my presence, says Adonai, so will your descendants and your name continue. Every month on Rosh Chodesh and every week on Shabbat, everyone living will come to worship in my presence, says Adonai. As they leave, they will look on the corpses of the people who rebelled against me, for their worm will never die and their fire will never be quenched, and they will be abhorrent to all humanity. So that is, it doesn't sound like something God did away with, the new moon or the Shabbat. You check it out for yourself. Let me know how you continue to celebrate, or how you are learning to celebrate. Thanks, bye.